Welcome back to The Explainer. So, today we're diving into something absolutely crucial. We're going to unpack exactly why so many of us walk around feeling like, well, supporting characters in our very own lives. To get to the bottom of this, we're pulling some truly brilliant, empathetic insights straight from the team at Psych2Go. Their work on the wonderful, kind of strange things our minds do is just phenomenal. And today, we're using it to help you reclaim your story. I really want you to stop and ask yourself right now, are you living a free trial of someone else's dream? Seriously, think about it. The degree you're working toward, that career ladder you're busting your back to climb, even the friend groups you spend your weekends with, are you choosing these things because they actually light a fire inside of you? Or are you choosing them because you can still hear your parents' voices echoing in your head the second you even think about pivoting or quitting? It's a heavy realization, right? Recognizing that your life's direction might just be driven by the echoes of someone else's expectations rather than what you actually want. Okay, let's dive into this because so many of us experience this exact tension every single day. On the surface, you've got the life you're living. From the outside looking in, hey, you're doing everything right. You're checking all the boxes, doing exactly what you're quote unquote supposed to do. But underneath all that, it's the costume that doesn't fit. Behind that outward appearance of success is this hidden internal reality. You feel empty or maybe just quietly overwhelmed, and you might not even have the words to explain why. Well, it's because the subscription to this borrowed dream is starting to cost way too much of your own personal happiness. Section 1. Someone else's dream, the illusion of supposed to. If you've been feeling completely overwhelmed in ways you can't quite put your finger on, I want to validate that for you right now. It is literally exhausting to live an illusion. And the root of that exhaustion, it often stems from this very specific internalized message. It's this quiet, persistent belief that your life is a debt you can never fully repay. When you operate under that assumption, well, every achievement, every career move, every sacrifice, it's all just an attempt to pay back the world, or your family, simply for your existence. I mean, no wonder you feel drained. You're trying to balance an emotional checkbook that was totally rigged from the start. Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. The parentification trap, handed an adult's toolkit. So let's anchor our understanding here with a really crucial definition: parentification. This happens when a child is forced into the role of an emotional caretaker, or designated as the strong one for the adults around them. Instead of playing and learning, doing kid things, you are busy fixing grown-up problems. You were essentially forced to grow up and manage these mature, complex emotions way before you ever truly knew how to just be a kid. Now, what's really interesting about this is how that survival mechanism actually developed. For you, easy to love meant being easy to need. Because you were parentified, your brain literally wired itself to believe your worth was directly tied to your usefulness. This dynamic trained you to become an absolute master at reading a room. You learned how to anticipate what the adults around you wanted or needed before anyone even had to open their mouth to ask. It's a superpower, for sure. But actually, scratch that, it's a superpower born out of absolute necessity, not choice. Section 3. The disappearing act, erasing yourself to keep the peace. This is where we really get into the painful symptoms that pop up when you're constantly erasing yourself just to keep the peace. Let's walk through these together, because recognizing them can be incredibly validating. 1. Slowly erasing parts of your own personality that might cause any kind of friction. 2. Living in this constant buzzing fear of disappointing others. 3 and 4, reaching for perfectionism and endless productivity. You overfunction just to feel some tiny semblance of control. But spoiler alert, it doesn't actually give you an identity. And finally, number 5, sudden emotional crashes. When your own needs are silenced for that long, they don't just vanish, they wait. And eventually, they crash down on you. Your identity just becomes a mirror, reflecting what parents, teachers, or partners expect. And man, that is downright exhausting because you're constantly putting on a performance for an audience that might not even be watching anymore. The source material uses such a brilliant metaphor to explain this internal dissonance, comparing the real-world you to an animated alter ego. Just think of the classic character Lizzie McGuire. You've got the real-world person trying desperately to meet everyone's expectations, and then there's this animated, colorful alter ego trapped inside, screaming to get out and express what you actually feel. When you live for others, that vibrant inner self is basically just trapped behind glass. Section 4. Reclaiming your story, the path to autonomy. But hey, we aren't going to leave you stuck behind that glass. It is time for some catharsis. The path forward requires 2 very difficult but very necessary steps. Step 1.
You have to grieve the childhood you didn't have. It is entirely okay to be sad or even downright angry about the parent you wish you could have been yourself for. You have to feel that loss. Step 2. You must officially quit your job as everyone else's emotional anchor. True reclamation means giving yourself permission to normalize the messy, uncomfortable process of prioritizing your own mental wellness over everyone else's comfort.
Section 5. Boundaries are not suggestions, rules for well-being. This brings us to the final and most crucial step of maintaining this newfound autonomy. So the crucial point is this, and I really want you to let this sink in. Boundaries are not suggestions, they are rules for your own well-being. A boundary isn't just some polite request you hope someone honors. It is an absolute rule you establish to protect your peace. Look at how powerful this next concept is. Every single time you hold a line and say no without offering a lengthy, apologetic explanation, you are sending a direct signal to your own brain. You are telling your brain that your needs actually matter. I want to assure you right now, setting real boundaries might feel incredibly selfish or even totally wrong at first. Your body might literally go into panic mode. But getting through that initial messiness, that is the only way to reach a life that is authentically and unapologetically your own. And you don't have to carry this burden alone. Psych2Go provides some fantastic, actionable resources to help you through this transition. First, they have a free journaling PDF designed specifically to help you externalize those heavy thoughts so they aren't just endlessly spinning in your head. Second, they offer a How Are You quiz over at psych2go.shop, which is just an excellent tool to quickly check in with your own mental state when you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. Use these tools, guys. They're there to support you. And this brilliantly illustrates our core philosophy moving forward. You aren't a finished product. You are a masterpiece in progress. Unlearning years of parentification and breaking the habit of living someone else's dream, that's not going to happen overnight. You will stumble, and that is perfectly okay. Your cracks, your struggles, those moments of doubt, they are not signs of failure. They are just solid proof of your growing resilience. I want to leave you with a lingering thought today, one that I hope really stays with you long after this explainer is over. What is one small thing you actually want right now? It doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be something that has absolutely nothing to do with what is expected of you. Find that one honest moment today, completely disconnected from societal pressures or inherited dreams, and claim it for yourself. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep asking the hard questions, keep building those boundaries, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.